Um, welcome. So we're going to go ahead and get things kicked off here. Again, first and foremost, thank you guys so much for hopping on here. This is obviously the core leadership. We've got the top leaders who are really here to get some value. I actually just got home from church, and one thing that they talked about was that during the pandemic, people are looking to fill their plates with different things, right? They related it to sports. They said bandwagon fans, right? Bandwagon fans, or whatever a team is doing really well. Now all of a sudden, people are buying jerseys and going to the games, and they have all this overwhelming support when they're doing really well. And I feel like we've done that so many times in our business, where we're like bandwagon business owners, right? We get super excited on these calls, especially when we have these impact family calls and we get around this culture. We get close to the campfire, we get fired up and excited, and we're ready to run through walls with our business, right? But then we get off of the call, all right, and it's time to actually put in the work. It's time to do the action. It's time to stay disciplined and do what we need to do in order to reach, to go to that next level, which we always call raising the bar, right? Obviously, your belief level determines your actions. It drives your actions, and then those actions drive your results, right? And so we always talk about raising the bar, because the higher you raise your belief, the more action you're going to take, and the more results you're going to get. But yet, the second we hop off of these calls, even though we know exactly what to do and we've been given a plan, we still don't take the necessary actions to get the results that we want in our lives, get the results we want in our business. And so I want to really dive in and go into the psychology of why that happens, right? What's holding us back, and how can we actually raise the bar? See, BAR is a shortened acronym. Again, belief, action, results, but there's a longer one that goes into way more detail. And so since we've only got the core leadership, since we got some top guys here, I'm going to really dive in. So first thing, housekeeping, right? I'm sure each and every one of you already got your notepads out. We already know note takers are money makers. And if you just listen and absorb, then we're only going to get about 5%. Okay. You only remember about 5% of what you hear. And so taking notes is extremely, extremely important, and not just writing it on your phone. It's actually making those hand motions and literally writing is the best way to absorb information. So the first thing I want you guys to write down is this acronym. Okay. It's CTFAR. All right. And again, CTFAR is the elongated version of BAR. Now let me dive into it. See, it stands for C is for circumstances, T is for thought, okay, F is for feelings, A is for actions, and R is results. So again, you raise your belief level, you'll take the actions, you'll get the results. Well, here's the real version of it, okay? Circumstances. Obviously, unsuccessful people believe that circumstances drive the results in their lives, right? Unsuccessful people take that mindset of, oh, woe is me, everything happens to me in my life, and so because of these circumstances and where I'm placed, that's why I have what I have in my life. But we all realize, as business owners, as people that are dedicated to personal development, we realize that it's not the circumstances that create the results, right? It's not the blowing of the wind that determines the course of the ship, right? It's the set of the sail, right? So it's not your circumstances that drive the results. It's your thoughts. So you take those circumstances, and those circumstances put thoughts into your head. So let me give you a real life example of this. All right. The circumstance would be, maybe your team isn't growing, right? And so the thought process from your team not growing would be, maybe I'm not a good leader, right? Maybe, what if I'm not giving them the right tools, or I'm not doing enough? And you start to question your leadership. And those are the thoughts that are going through your head. And what type of feeling do those thoughts create? Well, if you're thinking, I'm not a good leader, well, then all of a sudden you may feel discouraged, right? You start to doubt yourself. Those thoughts of, what if this person actually does join my business? If I'm not a good leader and I can't provide for them and lead them to that journey of success, right? Well, what do those feelings create? Well, they're going to create inaction, right? You're not going to prospect. You're not going to reach out to those new people, because if I'm not the right leader, right? If I'm a bad leader, why would I want to bring people into this environment? Right? So the feelings and thoughts that I have are now driving my inaction. And because I'm not prospecting, because I'm not taking the action and reaching out to new people, that's why it creates the result. And the result is my team does not grow. And by my team not growing, again, it's this vicious cycle, right? So how do we break through that barrier? Okay, it's understanding that it's understanding that the circumstances don't create the results, and also raising the belief. So again, the thought process of you not being a good leader, right? So the circumstances, your team not growing. The thought is, maybe I'm not a good leader. Well, each and every single one of us on this call, I know we have a team. You know, you brought in at least 3 people. I know we've got a couple 1,500, 600s, and people are, you know, right on the brink of ranking up. Well, think about the people that you're already working with, you know, the people who have maybe brought in one person, or the people who have hit a rank in the business, right? Do those people, does their success 100% rely on you? Like, are they successful 100% only because you were in their lives and like you did everything? Of course not, right? Like, I've got leaders, amazing leaders, like each and every one of you on this call. I mean, I got Mateo here, Mario, dude, Tom's on here, Alfie, David, like each and every single one of you guys are incredible leaders. And I know that even though, you know, I've done 3-way calls for you guys, and, you know, I help and support, and I've answered a ton of questions as far as software and business building. Like, I'm here to help and support, but your success, I know, is 100% because of you guys, because you're hungry, you're putting in the work. Right? So if I can't take 100% responsibility for your success, just how you can't take 100% responsibility for your people's success, why do we try to take 100% responsibility for people's failures? If the people that we're working with don't put in the action because they don't have the same belief level that we have, and then they don't see results, why would that be a reflection of our leadership? See, we can't teach hunger. We can't teach work ethic. There's nothing that you can do to control whether someone else is going to build their business or do what it takes to see the results. All you can control is what you're doing. All you can control is yourself. And so now when we switch our thought process of, I'm not a good leader because my team isn't growing, when we switch our thought process and saying, hey, look, it's not on me. I am a good leader because I answer those calls, because I do those trainings, because I do all these different things to build the business, and I'm helping and supporting them in their journey. That makes me a good leader, right? And then what type of feelings does that create? It creates more self-confidence, right? It creates a better image of yourself to yourself. And now you're saying, look, I'm an amazing leader, and people are blessed. I'm blessing people by bringing them into this culture. I'm blessing people by allowing them to come in and absorb everything that we have to offer, right? And so now, because you have this type of feeling, now you're even more excited. You're more fired up to take the actions, right? You're more motivated to go out and reach out to new people, right? And what type of result does that breed, right? Obviously, if you're taking the actions and you're reaching out to more people, you're going to enroll more people, and you're going to find someone who is a leader, someone who does take this as seriously as you do, and that person will start to rank up, and you'll start to create these success stories. And so it's all about your thought process, and that is really the key to raising the bar. All right, the CTFAR, all right, CTFAR. It's just a breakdown to breaking through to that next level. So one question I've been getting a lot recently is like, how do you prospect online? You know, what are the tools that you use to actually see these results, to recruit these new people? I know a lot of us are utilizing Instagram, right? A lot of us are reaching out to brand new people, and either people aren't responding, or the people that do, maybe we get on 3-way calls with them, and, you know, they just aren't serious, right? And so these Instagram things are not breeding results. Exactly. Shout out to my sponsor, Alfie. Yeah, dude, Alfie's a beast. Definitely putting in work on Instagram. And look, a lot of people are trying to duplicate those results. I know, even for myself, I haven't had a ton of success on Instagram. How I use Instagram is more of a passive follow-up tool. So now people see me on calls. People see my team ranking up because I'm posting it constantly in my stories, right? People see me on calls. They see me ranking up. They see us always having an incredible culture and having fun on calls and stuff like that. People are always watching, right? Even if they say no to the business, I always get them to follow my Instagram because I know that I'll be posting and working, and they'll see all that stuff, right? So like, that will be my follow-up. I don't have to directly call them. They just see me and they already know what I'm doing, right? They've already been exposed to the business. And so eventually, when I have people reaching out to me, like that person I talked to 3 months ago that randomly hits my phone and says, hey man, I'm ready to go. Well, why did he do that? Because for the past 3 months, he's been watching me and watching my business and watching what I'm doing. He sees me always grinded, always up at 2 o'clock in the morning. He sees me, on these team calls. He sees me doing trainings for those 3 months. And just like my man David texted me the other day, he's like, Paul, when do you sleep? Dude, David's over in the Netherlands. He texts me at, like 8 a.m. over there, which is like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. David will tell you, I'm answering literally all hours of the day. He just texted me yesterday. He's like, dude, when do you ever sleep? But that's the type of thing that people will see on your social media. And that's what will get people to, reach back out to you 3 months down the line. And so I use Instagram more as a passive follow-up tool. Now, do I contact people in personal like voice messages? Yes. But for myself, I haven't gotten the results on Instagram. So I actually stay away from that platform. When I'm actively prospecting, I'm not on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. It's one of my key tools. I've met a lot of my people through Facebook. And the other one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very underrated platform. And it's basically like the Facebook of business. So when you reach out to people with opportunities in businesses, the conversations are way easier and way more open on LinkedIn. And also I use BumbleBiz a lot. BumbleBiz is another sleeper, but I will say if you're not in the United States, BumbleBiz does not work as well. Anytime I've traveled, I've used BumbleBiz and I've connected with some people, but it doesn't have the same impact abroad as it does here in the US. So you guys can definitely use LinkedIn. I know we've got people, like I said, David's from the Netherlands, Alfie's in the UK, Mateo's from Italy. So we've got a bunch, a wide range of people. For those of you outside the US, you can definitely use LinkedIn. You'll probably connect with a couple of people because they have Bumble Business. So you can use Bumble, you can connect with a couple of people, but I wouldn't make that like my flagship, like I said, Facebook and LinkedIn. And really all I do when I reach out to brand new people on Facebook and LinkedIn is Facebook. Actually, both of them. You can see, number one, you can see where the person lives. All right. Most people are always going to update their profiles and say where they live. And number two, most people will update their profiles and say what they do for a living, like where they work. All right. And LinkedIn, they definitely always have where they live and where they work. I always like to use location to be that connector point. Okay. So the exact voice message that I send out every single time, like for example, I know Mario is in Florida, right? So if I'm reaching out to Mario on Facebook, what's up, man? If I'm reaching out to Mario on Facebook, I'll send a voice note because number one, if I just type it out, it doesn't have the same power. It doesn't have the same emotion, right? Just how you guys being on this call right now, like you can hear the passion in my voice, right? You can see that I'm excited. And so there's a big difference between sending a text and sending a voice note where people can hear you being fired up, right? They feed off of that emotion. And so, and also I've had some people as they reply, and maybe they'll reply in text, then I can send a text back and forth because we've started that communication channel. But I always, that initial, always voice note. All right. So the first thing I'm going to say is, hey, Mario, my name is Paul. So I say his name and then I say my name. Hey, Mario, my name is Paul. The next thing I address is the fact that we don't know each other. Usually you're reaching out to a brand new person, a stranger on Facebook, right? Actually, you know what? Let me back that up. Where do I find Mario? Where do I find these people on Facebook that I'm going to message, right? They're like, all right, wait, you're getting into the script. Like, where did Mario come from? Here's what I do. I usually join a lot of different Facebook groups. And I know what you're thinking, right? Entrepreneurship, Forex, that type of stuff. Yes, I'm in those groups, but everyone in these entrepreneur groups has a business, right? You have millions of network marketers in this group trying to sell their stuff, right? You want to, same thing with Forex. Everybody's selling a signal service. Everybody's selling, their course, whatever it is. So these Forex groups and entrepreneur groups are all flooded with people trying to sell their crap. So you can be in those groups. You can, maybe you'll get a person or two, but really focus on, like Mario said, exactly, thinking outside of the box. Be yourself. So like for myself, I wrestled in high school and college. So what have I done? I've joined a lot of different wrestling groups, and I've actually realized that a lot of wrestlers go into sales type jobs after they stop the sport, because it just the type of mindset and the type of person that it takes to become a wrestler. You're just kind of, you're a hustler, right? It's like, you know, you're pounding the pavement, you're a grinder. And so like just that type of culture breeds entrepreneurs, it breeds salespeople. And so, you know, I've joined a lot of these groups and we've connected and talked about wrestling. And I've used that as the bridge to build that relationship with the person that they later come on into my business, right? I've seen a lot of other stories where maybe someone's a musician, right? They play the guitar, so they join musical groups, or maybe they have a passion, you know, they're learning Spanish or they're learning German or some other foreign language. You join a couple different groups that deal with that foreign language, right? And so joining these groups will give you the people that you can connect with. And then also who I reach out to is the people that post in the group, right? If I see Mario in the wrestlers group and he posted yesterday or 2 days ago, that I know he didn't just join this group 5 years ago and doesn't even use Facebook anymore, right? I know Mario is an active person who is still online. So if I reach out to him, chances are he's probably going to see my message, right? So that's the first step. Joining the groups, finding the people who are active in the group, and then I can reach out to them. I say, look, hey, Mario, I know you and I don't, hey, Mario, my name's Paul. I know you and I don't actually know each other. So I'm addressing the elephant in the room, right? Because the first thing that always pops into people's minds is, why are you reaching out? Like, what do you want? Who are you? I don't know you, right? So I'm addressing the elephant in the room right away. Look, I know we don't know each other. The reason I'm reaching out, I saw you in the, I don't know, Florida entrepreneur group, or I saw you in the, you know, Florida wrestlers group, whatever it is. I'm actually launching a project out there in Florida. And I'm launching a project out there in Florida, and, you know, tons of people are seeing success. Basically, we're using artificial intelligence to help people make money online. Just wanted to see if you were open to taking a look. You know, if not, totally cool. But, you know, I thought I would throw it out there. And again, you don't need to use this exact script word for word, making sure that you make it your own. You know, don't sound like Paul Scott, right? You know, I'm you know, my own person. I got my own flow and my own, you know, whatever. But you guys can make it yourselves. But there are some key points and key things that you definitely have to hit on. So number one is the person's name that you have to hit on. Say their name, say your name. Okay. Number two is addressing the elephant in the room. Saying, you know, literally, hey, I know we don't know each other. So that, you know, because again, that's the first thing in their mind. So what you do by addressing that is, wow, I was already thinking that. So now you're actually subconsciously, you're building rapport. It's like, oh, this person knows what I'm thinking, right? Because he thought it before I said it. Okay, the third thing you want to address is, you know, why you reached out to them, right? Hey, Mario, I saw you lived in Florida, or I saw you were an entrepreneur. I saw whatever. Again, I usually use location. So I say, hey, I saw you lived in Florida, and you know, I'm working with a ton of people in Florida, and they're seeing a lot of success, right? So I guess the fourth thing would be why you reached out to them. But then four, you want to let them know that people who are exactly like them are joining you and seeing success, right? So people that are like them, that live in Florida, people that are like them, that love red bottom heels, or, you know, they love wrestling, they love Spanish, whatever, are partnering up with you and seeing success. All right. And then the fifth thing is people like you are seeing success. I just was curious if you'd be open to taking a look. All right. Never ask people if they're interested, or, you know, if they want to join or anything like that, right? It's, are you open to taking a look at what I'm doing? All right. And then the sixth and final thing after you ask them if they're open to taking a look is giving them an out. All right. You never want to have people put in a situation where they feel pressured, right? Nobody wants to feel pressured to join something or buy anything or anything like that. So how do you alleviate that pressure? You give them an out. Hey, look, if you're not open, it's totally cool. No big deal. You know, I was just throwing it out there. And another little thing, another little tweak that I like to put on it, I just say like, you know, if you're not open, totally cool. But most people, like, for example, if Mario, I know he's an entrepreneur, right? I'll say, hey, look, are you open to taking a look? If not, totally cool. I was just throwing it out there because I know most entrepreneurs, typically entrepreneurs are always open-minded. You know, I'll say something like that. Or, you know, hey, look, typically people here on LinkedIn are always looking for business connections. So, you know, they're always open to looking at stuff. So it's kind of like, it's no pressure, but usually people in your situation are at least open enough to take a look. Right. So that's something that, a little tweak that I put in there. But again, there's no pressure. So people they kind of feel okay to say no. That's key. All right. Giving them that out. And from there, it's completely out of your hands, right? They're either going to reply or they're not. And if they say they're open, great. What do you do next? Well, the next step is sending them a tool, right? You want to be the messenger and not the message. You don't say, hey, can we get on a call? And you explain to them everything about the software and AI, and you're doing a three-way and your screen. You don't do, you want to, again, be the messenger and not the message. So you send them the presentation, all right? Something that will carry them through. Exactly, something that'll carry them through so that they'll be able to find out what we're doing, right? If you go in the back office and you hit, there's a Auvoria Prime share, right? There's a link to a video that explains everything about the company. And what I love about using that link is because it's linked to the YouTube presentation. But if you send people the direct YouTube link, then after the video finishes, what happens next? Random videos start popping up, right? They have those recommended videos. So you never know what that next thing is that people are going to see about our company, what that next message is that people are going to see. So what I love about using exactly, thank you, Mario, for dropping that. So the AuvoriaShare.com, that link that's in your back office, if you send that to them, then after this video is over, it stops. They will see no more information about our company, right? Or about anything that's on YouTube, because you're going to have people put out some crazy stuff. So that's the key about using that. But now after watching this 20-minute video, they'll get the breakdown of what Auvoria Prime is. They'll see our softwares. They'll have an idea about Auvoria University, and they'll know exactly what's going on. And so from there, then you get on the three-way call. You can get on a three-way call with me, with Mark, whoever, you're introduce you to the business, whoever you want to use, whoever's available. We get on this three-way call, and that's where the questions are answered. I'm sure they're still going to have questions about the business or how exactly something works. And so that's a time when we then answer those questions, not up front. But again, so you reach out, are you open to taking a look? If they say yes, you send them a link. Well, no, if they say yes, you set up a time. Say, hey, look, when are you going to have 20 minutes to take a look? When would you be free to take a look? And what I say is distraction free. I say, when would you have 20 distraction free minutes that you could take a look at this information? And then I wait for a reply, and they say, oh yeah, I'll look at it right now. Or, oh, I'll have time today at 8 o'clock, whatever. So I say, okay, cool. And then I look at my schedule and say, okay, so if I reach out to you by 9 o'clock or 9:30, you'll have it watched by then? They say, yeah, of course. Boom. Okay, great. And then I send them the link. So I confirm a time before I ever send them any information. Okay, I don't just say, yeah, I'm open to taking a look, and boom, shoot out information, right? So confirm the time first. All right, when would you have 20 distraction-free minutes that you could take a look? And then once I get that confirmation, I'll go ahead and send over the link. I'll follow up with them at whatever time and do that three-way call. All right, and answer their final questions and walk them closer to that buying decision. All right. And I do the same thing on Facebook and LinkedIn. I mean, it's pretty much the same exact script. And what I love about LinkedIn, which a lot of people take for granted, is that it is a business platform. It's literally the Facebook of business. So people are always going to be sending you opportunities and sending you messages. But when you reach out and say, hey, Matteo, I just launched a new project out there in Italy. A lot of people are seeing a ton of success. Like, would you be open to taking a look? It's not a weird thing, because those types of messages come often, and people on there are there to network for business. All right. So you can meet some very, very high quality people just through LinkedIn. And actually, just a personal testimonial, one of the people that, I've had the pleasure of working with and being connected with and had in the organization is a movie star. She's part of a Bravo TV series. She's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and Facebook and all types of platforms. She's a major influencer. But how did I meet her? Because I connected with a professional on LinkedIn who then knew her and got us connected. But I would have never made that connection if I didn't reach out to people, on LinkedIn, right? So going to these places and searching for higher quality people. Because here's the thing, a lot of us get caught up in that phase one where we're going to our friends and family and we're going and focusing on people that we know need the opportunity, right? People who are broke and in situations where it's like, I know that they could benefit so much from this. Now, not saying don't bring them the opportunity, right? Because, you should share the opportunity with everyone because we know what we have here in this community. But don't get so caught up in those people, because where we really see people, joining and people blowing this thing out of the park are, business-minded people, right? It's the people who we think, oh, he's already got an amazing job. He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a prominent, Bravo TV star, right? They don't need something like this. But those are the people who really take advantage of this because they have their own underlying reasons. Maybe he's a doctor and is making amazing salary, but he hates the fact that, he's always working, right? He wants more time freedom. So even though he's getting paid very well, if that doctor isn't in surgery, guess how much he's making? $0. And so a lot of times you'll get those high quality people who are looking for opportunities to create passive sources of income, right? Which can be created through network marketing, right? And he's a doctor. So of course he's got some high quality contacts and people who respect him and respect his opinion, right? So of course him going to people with a business opportunity is going to breed way better results than, your broke friend who, took advantage. So like, just little things like that, looking for higher quality contacts. And so that can all be done through targeted social media searching. Right. So doing that on LinkedIn, doing that on Facebook, that's really where you can recruiting up is the best way to help create that traction in your business, create that traction in your organization. And so, yeah, that's pretty much, that's literally it. That is the play. So I know so many times we get on these calls and like I said, we're fired up in the moment, but then we don't go ahead and implement, right? We don't take the action to, doing what it takes. So I'm going to challenge each and every one of you on this call to go ahead and as soon as we get off here, right now, go ahead and go on Facebook and reach out to 5 new people, or go ahead on LinkedIn and reach out to 5 new people and test out this brand new script. Because I know sometimes it's just kind of theory, right? It's just something that's thrown out there. And obviously a confused mind is a paralyzed mind, right? Like if you don't actually know exactly what steps to take, exactly what to do, then you're not going to do anything, right? So we've got the game plan, right? I challenge you, as soon as we get off of this call, you go ahead and go into Facebook, join a couple groups, and then within those groups, go ahead and reach out to maybe 3 new people, and then go ahead and create a LinkedIn profile if you don't already have one. And if you do, get on LinkedIn and reach out to 2 people there. All right, get your 5 in, reach out to 5 brand new people and test out the script, because obviously the more you say it, the more you do it, it'll just become second nature. So again, hey, Matteo, my name is Paul. I know we don't know each other, but I saw you lived out there in Italy. I just launched a brand new project. A ton of people out in Italy are seeing success. Just wanted to see if you were open to taking a look. If not, totally cool. But I know a ton of people out there. Usually Italians are pretty open-minded. Just wanted to throw it out there. Looking forward to connecting with you either way. Boom, that's it. Super simple, 30 seconds right there. All right. And so before we get off, I want to bring on my man Mario. He's asking to be unmuted. Dude, this is literally one of my best friends in the world. Like, I'm so blessed and grateful to be working with Mario. But every single time he gets on a call, it is always heat. This guy is always bringing so much value. I mean, one of the only people that I can think of that does just as much, if not more, personal development that I do is Mario. And like, literally every time we get on the phone, like, we're just talking about different business things, and we're talking about, the future and just vision and where we're going with this. And me and Mario can literally spend an hour, 2 to 2 hours on the phone, and we'll be like, dude, it's only been like 20 minutes. Like, it's insane. So I'm super hyped and excited to hear what he's got to say. So go ahead, and I think I just unmuted you.
Yeah, you did. Thank you so much for that introduction, bro. I just want to answer David real quick. Yo, it's feelings, bro. And dude, I remember, did you get this from what's his guy, Bob Heilig? Bro, this is great. I don't want to add on anything, to be honest. Like, I could go on and just have another 30 minutes where I could just spit and add on to him. But honestly, there's nothing really to add on. Like, after this is just going to be fluff. What I want to tell you guys is, like, I started using this system when I joined Impact, because I joined the NFL as soon as I joined Impact, right? Which is the no friends left. And I moved away from what was already working. So I want you guys to, like, think about it a little bit more in depth. It's like, where do we have our Facebook our results group? We have it on Facebook. So just keeping it congruent with something like that will allow you to, you know, create those results and create those connections. Because I moved, and I had a conversation with Paul about this, and I got so frustrated because I was doing the same thing that was working already on Facebook. I was doing it on Instagram. And the thing is, I've had a ton of people who literally see my stories and they're like, yo, I want to join. And I never even sent a single voice note to them. However, it was the attraction marketing that I created there. So I want you guys to think more of the platforms, and I want you guys to really, like, try these different things out. Maybe, hey, you know, somebody like Dante could reach out to someone and he'll get an answer. But maybe somebody like me, even though my page is very well built, and I know Paul's page is very well built, we might just have a little bit of a struggle because it's just not working for us. I'm not saying don't shy away from Instagram. Utilize it to your advantage and test it out as well. But try all these different things out, because at the end of the day, you won't learn what works for you until you try it out. And just to give you guys that little bit of, like, because the circumstances, thoughts, feelings, and actions and results are very important. And something that was happening to me was just like, because people weren't answering as much on Instagram, the circumstances were guiding my feelings. And what made me feel better to continue doing that, even though I wasn't getting as much response, was like, what can I, like, asking myself, like, what can I leave this person here today where if I see that she saw the message or he saw the message, how can I make her day better? You know, and so, and what started helping me out was the fact that the first thing I try to do is, of course, introduce myself, help them get a smile, you know, help them come out with a smile, help them come out with some sort of positive feeling where even if they leave and they don't answer, they're at least going to leave with that positive energy that I sent out via that voice note, because I can do that through my words and I can do that through my voice. So that's all I ask that you guys do. Like, share some positivity, share some value, you know, like if you're the kind of person that loves quotes, I love quotes. I feel like they're very short, but they mean a lot. So if you want, just end it with a quote. I like to always say, like, hey, you know, either way, if you're not open, I hope you have an amazing and blessed day and that God blesses you abundantly. And just that by itself even has got me people to just answer back and even just say, like, hey, thank you, I really needed that. And I don't even have to know it to my business to feel good. That just by itself makes that feel good. And remember that business is a transfer of energy. So if you're transferring energy out there to people, you're going to get the right results. That's all I want to say. Paul, thank you for having me on. I love every single one of you. And I love you too, Paul. Cheers to you, David.
Wow. That was super powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mario. You are 100% right. I literally couldn't have said that better myself. You know, transferring energy, you know, just like I was saying earlier, you know, the energy of a voice note, right? The energy of a call, it transfers. And so leaving people with value. I mean, how does any business make money, right? You're adding value to people, and the more value that you add, the more value you can create, the bigger your income is going to grow, right? And so the same thing with your voice notes. If you just leave people with that little bit of value, that positive energy of, hey, just have a blessed day, have a great day. I hope, you know, God blesses you abundantly. You know, it's going to make people feel better, and it's going to continue to motivate you to continue to do the actions, even if you're not getting the replies, right? You're just going out and spreading positivity and adding value to people. So that was amazing. Thank you so much, Mario. Thank all of you guys for hopping on this call. Hope you guys got some value, and remember, you know, the challenge of just reaching out right here, right now, and going out and reaching out to 5 people, taking the actions and, you know, creating that discipline of starting every single day to going out and reaching out to 5 people at least. I mean, if you guys, which by the way, we're all home from the pandemic anyway, right? So we got all the time in the world. So we should be doing way more than 5 people. But, you know, 5 people is a start, right? And especially for anyone watching this on the replay where maybe we're not in a pandemic anymore, whatever your situation is, whatever you can fit into your schedule, making sure that you're creating that discipline of every single day, reaching out to, you know, set a number. You know, maybe it's 5 people, maybe it's 2 people, maybe it's 10 people, whatever that number is, making sure that you're reaching out to new people every day, because that's going to create the results. Because now maybe someone might take 2 weeks to reply, right? But now you have people constantly blowing up your inbox. You have constant messages flowing of new people wanting to take a look at the information. And so you're able to fill out your schedule because you've consistently reached out to people, and you've been consistently growing your base. Let's see. Just started with 5. Exactly. Starting with 5. So starting with 5 is a super simple number. No matter who you are, no matter how busy you are, send in 5 30-second voice notes. Anybody can do it. So there's no excuse to be able to go ahead and reach out to 5 people. So it's an awesome start. And if you guys can do more or want to do more, obviously 5 is not the limit. So that being said, thank you guys so much. Glad you got some value. Can I just get some 7s in the chat if you did get some value? Like if you learned something here today, can I see some? All right. 7s. All right, good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. All right, glad people got some value. That is good to know. Thank you guys so much again for hopping on. Have a blessed day. You already know you can hit me up anytime if you guys need anything. Talk to you soon. Peace.